Hey folks, Mel the Train Tutor back in the studio and back with another Let's Make tutorial for you. And in this Let's Make tutorial we are tackling the final proper bunker that we're going to do in a long time, okay? Now we've done a lot of bunkers, we've done sandbag bunkers, we've done foam bunkers as in high density foam and expanded foam, and we've even done foam board bunkers replicating the layer technique to get the poured concrete. And this is our final bunker technique. This is log bunkers covered in earth. Yeah, quite common in the Pacific, quite common with the Japanese, but also found around the world in conflicts wherever resources get low and defensive positions need to be built. Okay? Any defence is a good defence if you've got no defence. Now with that in mind, yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through a few simple techniques to put together some awesome looking bunkers. So, tell you what, come to the desk, let's crack on. Now before we can actually build our bunker, what we need to do is build our earth emplacement to fit it in. Whereas in the real world, what they would have done is they would have built it up and then piled it full of earth. We have to make the earth and then put the bunker inside. So what I've got here is I've got two sheets of expanded foam. Now you can use HD foam, I'm using expanded foam, so just to show you that you can do it. In the center I have a my bunker, which is 3.5 inches that way by 3 inches that way. I've got an 1.5 inch gap at the back for my tunnel out, and then this is going to be the front. Now with regards to space on either side, I've got 2.5 inches either side, and I've got an 1.5 inch front and back. You'll notice they're loose. I could glue these together, but I find when you glue them together they can be a bit difficult to cut and shape, and so I'm going to do them while they're loose. And to help me, I've got a couple of cocktail sticks and I'm going to just push them straight through on here, and what that'll do is it will stop everything sliding about. Now I don't have to worry about putting holes in this because I'm going to cut the middle out anyway. Yeah, so they are all sorted, ready for cutting. And what I need to do is I need to make this an earth mound. So I need to basically smooth it off at the sides. Okay, I need to leave at least sort of 5 mil around the edge of it. Okay, and that's so I can that's so I can rest our roof on it, so you can actually get in and out of it and put your troops inside. So with that in mind, it's time to start shaping it. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is big cuts first, and I'm going to take them to the edge. So in the case this corner, yeah, so I'll bring it around, yeah, you can see I'll cut that, and then I can cut it a little bit more. Don't worry about the bobbles can be cleaned up. Oh, I'm making a mess. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to shape this, yeah, to get my mound that I'm going to bury my my bunker in. Yeah, so if I bring that up, yeah, you can see how it's starting to take shape there. So the next job is I've just got to work my way all the way around this and make it into a bit of a hill. Okay, obviously you're using a sharp blade, watch your fingers folks. Right, I'll crack on with this. So there's our rough shape, yeah, and as you can see, roughly hill-like, yeah, but I've maintained that space around my edge. Now the next job is I need to cut out the middle. Now, if you don't have hot wire tools, this can be a right pain, but there's an easy way of doing it. What you do is you simply come along and you cut it into slices. So I'm going to cut here, and keep going, take that one off. And as you see, I've taken this off. And what I've got is essentially, I've got the side of the bunker. Now what I can do is I can come round to the other side, I can cut it there, I can cut it here, I can cut it here, and I can get all my individual pieces. So that's my next job. So I'm going to quickly put these cuts in. Now as you can see, yeah, I've cut the middle out and I've got 2 side pieces, a front piece and 2 rear pieces with my tunnel in. Okay, now before we start to glue these and put them back together, there's a quick job I need to do. Obviously our troops are going to need to shoot out. Otherwise it's not much of a bunker, is it? It's more of a hidey hole. Yeah, a bit like when we were kids. So I'm going to take this piece off, which will give me a roughly, well, it will give me a 1-inch high embankment. Now I'm going to get my blade, and I'm just going to shape this a bit better. So I'm just going to come down here, watching my fingers. Yeah, and I'm just going to, a couple of quick cuts. Yeah, just to sort of smooth that off. So if I bring that in back in there, we can see where our gap's going to go. Now the next job is obviously, I just need to trim these two edges and just bring them in. So very quickly, come in. Yeah, just give them a bit of a bevel in. I don't want too much. Yeah, just enough that it sort of fits with the piece I've just cut. So if I bring those back, if I put those there, I put that in the middle, it sort of fits better now. See what I mean? Yeah? Now my next job is I need to glue these all back together. Yeah, because obviously we can't put the wood inside and that sort of stuff until they are fit. So with that in mind, yeah, my glue of choice, yeah, PVA. And then what I've got here is, I've got a sheet of EPA, EPVC, not EPA, EPVC, expanded PVC foam board. Now this is my standard base material. I've cut it to size, I've just beveled it, sanded it. If you don't know what this stuff is, here are the fast facts. Hope they weren't too fast for you. Yeah, remember you got a pause button. Now my next job is, all I need to do is basically clean this up and start to drop it back on here. Now, as I go, things will move around and that sort of stuff. So what I'm going to be doing is back with these cocktail sticks, yeah, and using these to pin the pieces together. Yeah, so I can come along and I can put a bit of PVA on there. Yeah, squidge that down, give it a bit of a wiggle. Yeah, bit of PVA on there. Yeah, same things. Drop that on, give it a bit of a wiggle, make sure it's nice and smooth. Blow off any of the little bubbles because we don't need those just yet. Don't need those at all, to be truthful. Okay, and then while I've got it, grab myself some cocktail sticks and just pin it, just like that. Yeah? Okay, now the benefit of using cocktail sticks is I'll be able to pin the sides in, so I'll be able to pin that to that and then take it from there. Okay, so I'm going to glue and pin these up and I'll bring it back when it's done. It looks a bit more like a barbarian post-apocalyptic bunker than a log one at the minute, but as you can see, yeah, those pieces have been pinned all together. Don't worry about the odd gap, we've got to go over this with filler or spackle. Yeah, so, you know, we can deal with those. But as you can see, there's my bunker taking shape. Now, the next job is, before we can actually lay all our logs in, we've got to leave it to dry. Yeah, always the downside. So, while this dries, what we'll do is we'll start to prepare the logs for our actual log bunker. Right, let's leave this to dry, and I'll get cracked on. So that's it all dried, and I've taken out the cocktail sticks, and as you can see, it's all well stuck together, yeah? Now, if I bring it up, yeah, you will be able to start to tell a few straight lines. Yeah, you can see the cut lines where I've lined it up, and obviously it hasn't gone together perfectly. Now, if there's one thing that will show up on your terrain like anything, yeah, it's straight lines. The eye is really good at recognizing them, so this is the perfect time to come along with just some fine sandpaper and very lightly, yeah. Don't worry if you rip bobbles, yeah, just get rid of that line. He says as he's ripping bubbles. Come on. There we go. And if I bring it up, yeah, as you see, the line's gone. Yeah, so I'm just going to very quickly, just give it a quick rub over, just get rid of these lines across it, and then we'll crack on, yeah? So that's all sanded now, and immediately you can't see those lines at all. I mean, they didn't look that bad before, but immediately now it's sanded, you can see the difference it makes and how much they would have actually stood out if we hadn't sanded them. So always give it a quick rub, always makes it better, guys. Right, moving on. Now obviously this isn't an earth bunker, it's a log bunker, so we need some logs. Yeah, so if I put that over there for a second, what I've got is, I've got these. Okay, now these are the stems. yeah, from a bush I have in my garden. And every autumn, yeah, it dries out and I harvest them. And I end up with big bundles like this, and they're brilliant. Yeah, the reason why I like them is generally they're nice and straight, yeah, which can be quite a struggle to find outside of birch twigs. And also because they're from a bush, bushes are miniature trees essentially, yeah, and so the knots on them are in scale. You know what I mean? They sort of fit the scale. Twigs, the knots on them can be quite large and they don't look quite right for logs at our scale, yeah? But bush stems. Now, I don't know what the bush is called. I'll see if I can find out before this video is done, and if I can, it'll be on the screen now. So, I'm going to be using these. Now, if you don't have these, there's lots of other options, okay? You can use wooden dowel. You can use barbecue skewers, you can use, I've seen pencils used before now, yeah, and obviously you can use various twigs and everything like that. If you are getting anything from nature, okay, such as twigs or these sort of stems, what you need to do is basically break them, dry them at home. Once they're dry, give them a soaking in watered down bleach water or watered down Dettol or some sort of disinfectant, bleach, you know, kill off the gribblies. Then afterwards, yeah, just simply put them in the oven after a Sunday roast, and that will dry them out. Don't put them in the oven while the actual oven's on. You'll set them on fire or burn them to a crisp. But while the oven's cooling down, yeah, that will dry them out, and then they become perfect, yeah, for for making our logs. Because if I bring this one up, yeah, absolutely perfect. Yeah, it's got the grain in and everything. It isn't quite straight, so it works. And the other reason why I quite like using the branches from my garden bush rather than twigs is that I can just simply come along with a pair of snips and do that. I can cut them to the perfect length, dead easy. I don't have to use a saw or anything like that. Yeah, so it is really quick and simple to do. Now, so that's the logs, and that's the logs we're going to use, okay? The next thing I want to introduce you to is how we're going to stick them to it. Now, trust me, I've been here before plenty of times, yeah? Putting PVA or a glue on here and then placing these in, yeah, to build up your internal log walls. Trust me, you're going to have a really bad time. Now, there's a couple of options that you can do. What you can do is, let's say this is sandpaper, but let's say you've got a bit of index card, a bit of card. You could cut the card, yeah, to the shape of the wall that you want. Okay, just test fit it a few times, make sure it actually fits in nice and snug and it doesn't go over the top. And then what you can do is you can glue the logs onto the card, and when they're all set, just glue the card in, which is a really easy way of, you know, it's a hell of a lot less fiddly, and because you're laying these sticks down on a piece of card that's flat, that's got glue on it, you haven't got the issues, yeah, of trying to stick them against a vertical surface where they're going to fall off if they don't adhere. But I want to show you another trick. Okay, that's an easy way of doing it, but this is double-sided tape from 3M. Okay, and double-sided tape is the tape that's sticky on both sides. So when you peel it off, this bit's sticky, but also you can sort of peel off this bit as he struggles. I'm not going to peel it on camera, I'll be here for ages, but you can peel off this bit, okay, and this bit will be sticky as well. So what you can do is you can actually cut pieces, place them on there, and if I just very quickly open that up enough to show you, easy stick, yeah. So you can stick them in place and then just give them a quick brush over with a light bit of PVA just to bond them all in place. So my next job, okay, is going to be, I need to cut out some strips of this to lay on the inside of here, but before that I need to mass produce my actual logs. So that's my next job now. I'll get that done and then I'll show you actually putting them in place, yeah? Back in a sec, guys. So I've been busy cutting and I've already started sticking them in. And if I bring that up, I'll be honest with you, it's not completely perfect, I'm a little bit off, but you guys will take a bit longer than me, but you can see the effect, can't you? Really nice. Now it literally is just a matter of, I've unpeeled that, yeah, and then I get my shorter ones and I put those at the bottom. So one, me get this on camera for you. A bit fiddly, yeah, but it is doable. Yeah, so that's the 4 in. Give them a good push, and they are well in there now. So if I bring that up, and then I've got 4 slightly longer ones. Yeah, that will just, if I don't stick my fingers to it, I'm just going to stick out just slightly. Yeah, and that's going to give us the front sort of fascia of our bunker. So get that in there. Go on, in you go. Yeah, so if I bring that up, you can see how on that side I've just cut slightly longer ones. Yeah, that will carry forward. Yeah, I've got a little bit of tape there as well, which means we can do this side. I'm not going to bother with these walls, yeah, because you've got the technique. I don't need to do those. Yeah, it's only a tutorial piece. If it was a commission or something like that, I'd go full bore, but you know, important thing is you guys get the technique. So the rest of it I've got to do is I'm going to put the rest of these onto the tape. Yeah, and as you can see, lovely stuck down. And then I'll come back and I'll show you the supports. So it's all coming together nicely. Yeah, some sticky fingers, but if I bring it up, yeah, you can see what I'm doing with it. Now I'm in the process of just gluing in the support. So all our tape work is done. Yeah, and we've got our logs on the inside. And all I'm doing is just adding supports. Now I want a log across here. Yeah, just to give me that visual look of it being a log bunker from when you look at it. So, bit of glue across there. And dead simple, just drop that in. Yeah. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Is that level? It is now. Yeah, and then the other thing I'm doing is I'm dropping supports in the corners. So if you notice, I've got a horizontal support there, there, and then I've just put another one at the door there. Okay, and that is just literally a matter of, yeah, bit of PVA on your stick, yeah, and then just plonk it in the corner. Now, if you are using anything natural, let's do the other side actually. If you're using anything natural, then the chances of them being perfectly straight, yeah, is not massive. You'll get them pretty straight, but you'll never get perfectly straight. Okay, so you've got to give yourself a bit of forgiveness on here. There will be a little bit of wiggle. There will be the odd one that sticks out and the odd gap. That's just how it is. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's tiny, it's minor. It's not going to be a problem. Oh, my log's fell. My log's foot. That was me pushing that in, that was. Right, my next job is I just need to put in that one there, and then I need to leave them to dry a bit before we come back with the filler, which is where we'll join all this up and get ready for adding the roof. Okay, so I'll crack on. There you go, that's all my logging done. I put a couple of cross beams in, yeah, just to make it look rather nice. Okay, and finish it off. So these are all stuck in now. It's time to move on to the next stage. Now, very quickly before we do, over here, if I can pull it off, yeah, I've done myself a little roof. Now, I'm just keeping it flat. You could add a bit more polystyrene onto that, shape it down so it's more of a mound. I don't really need to, but you guys can. Okay, and this has been designed just to dead simply sit straight on top, yeah, and so we can get access to the inside of the bunker. Okay, but like I say, you could put a little bit of polystyrene on the top of that and make it more rounded if you wanted to. Yeah, no issues, it's just put it down, shape it, filler it. But we're on to the fillering stage. Now the fillering stage is where we blend in all these edges, these gaps, and basically firm it up ready for painting. And it is dead easy. I have got my bog standard filler here, my dial from B&Q. It's my preferred filler. Yeah, I've got no relationship with B&Q, by the way. Yeah, it's just my preferred filler. And in the US, I believe you call this spackle. Okay, but I'm going to get a good finger's worth, just like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it round. In fact, I'll work this side. Yeah, and I'm going to work it in. Yeah, now I only have to work it in rough, and because I can go in afterwards with a little bit of water. Yeah, and if I show you very quickly, yeah, that's it, smoothed on rough. Yeah, and you can see a couple of lines and stuff like that. And then what you can do is wet your finger. I'm just sticking it in my paint water, yeah, and just smooth it over, and that'll smooth out any of those bits and that sort of stuff and give you a lovely mound. Now I'm going to continue this all the way around here, yeah, just a little across the top of here just to blend in a couple of these gaps, yeah, and there, and I'm going to do my roof. And once it's all done, I'll bring it back and show you guys. Dead easy. Time to get messy. I love getting messy, playing with my fingers. Right, crack on. The messiness has ended. A little bit disappointed about that. Yeah, but there you go, all fillered up, and it was just a matter of laying the filler on, then wetting my fingers and smoothing out. As soon as it starts to feel like it's going tacky, add a little bit more water and just work your way around. And as you can see, it's blended it in all bloody lovely. Yeah, now at the same time, yeah, I have also done my roof. Yeah, and as you can see, I've just basically blobbed some down, yeah, spread it out with the water and give it a quick little stipple by just tapping my fingers up and down on it. And that, all I did that for is because I really didn't want a completely flat roof. I wanted a little bit of undulation. It's only a millimetre or two, but it'll make a difference when it goes on the top. So the next job is I can't paint this until it's completely dry. Yeah, and so obviously got to leave it to dry, haven't we? So drying time, and I'll see you shortly, guys. Right, the filler's all dry now, and there we go. Doesn't it look fantastic? Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, and if I take the roof off, yeah, you can see all our woodwork on the inside and how I've blended it in on the edges, around the edges. That's just to help hold it. And the sticky tape is holding it really firm. That's the only thing, other than these support structures that are PVA'd in, that's sort of holding it all together. Yeah, but no worries whatsoever. But we need to paint it. And while we're painting it, we might as well just sturdy it up a little bit more. So I've got my roof there, just put that there. If I bring that up, I actually show you. Yeah, that's how it turned out. And it is just enough, yeah, so it's not a completely flat sheet on top of the bunker, you know what I mean? So what I've got here is I've got some house paint, yeah, interior wall paint, emulsion in the UK, latex paint in the US. Yeah, and I'm going to add a little bit of PVA to the mix, okay, because adding a little bit of PVA, when I paint it on the inside, it'll just firm it up and help all these logs to grip and stick to each other. Yeah, and I'm going to go for roughly 10:1 ratio on the paint and PVA. So I'll give this a quick stir, and then it's just time to paint it. And for that, I've just got a big hog hair brush. Yeah, I'm just going to get it on, and I am going to lift it up and slap it in. And with the key point, been trying to force it in between the beams to get the tape at the back. Yeah, because we don't want any white bits showing through, do we? Yeah, so dead simple. Layer it on plenty, use gravity, let gravity do the work, splodge it in there and just give it all a good coat. So all I'm going to do now is just continue and completely coat this up, okay? So I'll crack on with this. I'll come back once it's done. So there we go, folks. Yeah, that's 2 coats on it and it is looking rather nice. Okay, but it's a bit flat, so I want to add a little bit more depth to the colour, or actually highlight it up. So I've got a little bit of brown there, lighter brown. I'm just going to take the excess off on a bit of cardboard. Yeah, and then all I'm going to do is a little bit of overbrushing. So, yeah, I don't have to worry about being perfect with this. I could have put a texture on this, to be truthful. Okay, as in a grit texture for this, but I'm planning on covering most of it with flock, so I just need a little bit of overbrushing just to break it up if there's any patches in the flock, or if I decide to thin the flock anywhere. Yeah, so I'm very quickly going to just go over, keep going like this, yeah, keep bringing these pieces out. And then once I've just given it an overbrush, my next job with just a little bit of cream is with all my wooden pieces at the ends. Obviously they're very dark. I just want to go in and just put a little bit of cream just in the centre to bring back that wood look. The dark bark is fine. I just want to bring back the actual core centre look. So I'm going to crack on with that now. I'll bring it back when it's done, guys. So that's all my dry brushing done. You can see where I put the cream in there. And then very quickly I just went over it with a little bit of a black wash, just a little watered down black, just to knock it back a bit. It looks perfect. Dry brushing's a bit rough and ready, yeah, but that's okay because most of it's going to disappear under flock anyway, so don't worry about that if you know your dry brushing isn't perfect. So moving on to the flocking, my favourite bit. Now over here I have some PVA. It's watered down 50-50 because I want it quite sticky. Okay, and what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do quite a thick coat at the bottom and then sort of stipple it near the top, okay, so it sort of breaks up. With these earth mount bunkers, what you used to get was, you know, they'd pile them full of earth and obviously it'd grow up, and depending on how long it had been there, would depend on how much foliage would sort of grow on it. Yeah, obviously they'll dump plants and that sort of stuff on the top to part of camouflage. But, like I say, the longer the bunkers are in situ, the more they have time to grow. So it's perfectly fine doing a complete earth bunker with, you know, the odd spot of grass, and it's completely fine doing a complete grass mound. Okay? So, I'm just putting on my PVA here. Yeah? I'm just going to very quickly do this. So there we are, all PVA'd up. Now, next job is to apply the flock, and I'm using my standard 3-tone mix. So a light, a dark, and a mid-tone. And let's start off with the dark. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to sprinkle the dark around the bottom, okay, where the moisture would gather and in the corners. Okay, remember this is a spot colour, so only provide a little bit of contrast. So a little sprinkling around there. Yeah, let's put some up in here. Yeah, a bit around the front there. Yeah, looking beautiful. A little bit more. Yeah. Next one we want a highlight. Now this is going to go at the top. Yeah, so good. Couple of good spots on it. Yeah, and then just blend it across the various bits. Blend it across the various bits, both. Couple of spots and then just blend it down, guys. A little bit too much there. It's alright, it'll disappear. And then a bit across the front there, because I want to make sure that's nice and light where it'd dry out in the sun. Yeah, and then finally we need to drop some on here as well. Some spots on the top of this. Yeah, you can't see it here, I've just got it, the lid there. Yeah, so a couple of concentrations, sprinkle it about. Yeah, so just like that on the top. And then finally we go for a mid-tone to blend it all in. And you just simple sprinklings. Yeah, getting it around the base is the key thing, so you get a good blend. And if we give it a quick shake, and a blow, because we've got to blow it. There you go. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Might need to touch up a little bit in a few places, but really nice, guys. You know what I mean? Right, let's touch this up and leave this to dry, and I'll bring it back when it's done. So there we are, and it is coming together nicely. A couple of the patches are a little bit stark, but remember, when we coat this with watered down PVA to seal it, you can go in with a little bit of extra flock and just drip it in, sprinkle it in then, and that will soak, seal, and fix all that. So I'm not concerned. Blowing flock everywhere. I love flock, but I don't love flocking that much. Right, next job is we've got to decorate it up a bit. Now, I typically add a little bit of clump foliage and a couple of tufts. With this, I'm going to go slightly different. I've got my clump foliage. Yeah, my personal. Yeah, my Jarvis Scenics. Yeah, so 2 shades, a nice light one and a green one. Yeah, and then I've got some lichen here, some lichen. Yeah, and this is going to be really important, yeah, because this is what I'm going to do to drape over the top of the roof, so it drapes down on the edges and sort of camouflages it. You'll see what I mean when we do it. Now, this is just a simple matter of a little bit of PVA, neat, drop it in a corner, put your clump foliage in or your lichen, press it down, let it dry, you're good to go. Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and let you watch me stick clump foliage and that sort of stuff all over it. I'll get stuck into that quickly, and yeah, I'll show you some pics when it's done and we'll come back then. A short while later, it's all foliaged up, and if I bring it up, there you go. Doesn't it look fantastic? Now, I have cheated. I didn't bother doing the back. Yeah, you can see what you need to do from the front. You can see the effect that I've gone for. You'll notice I've put a lot around the edges. Yeah, and that's to actually hide the breakup on the lid. Okay, so you can't, to sort of break up the actual edge of the lid, if you know what I mean. Same with any difficult points. Anywhere where I think I've screwed up a little, I've made sure I've put clump foliage. or liking or something. Now it's pretty much all done. All we need to do now is seal it. Okay, now to seal it, what I've got is I've got a 50p sprayer from my local supermarket from the beauty aisle. Yeah, it's got 1 part PVA, yeah, and 5 parts water in it. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to come along and just give it a good squirt. Now I should say, yeah, I haven't got my paper down or anything like that, so I'll do that off camera. But as you can see, that's the last stage, and it does look beautiful, doesn't it? But it's going to look even better once this has been sprayed. So let me get it sprayed up and then I can bring it back, guys. So there we have it, folks. It's 95% dry after being sealed now, so I don't want to mess with it too much, but it's good enough to sort of show you how with soaking it down it makes those colours blend in, and it looks beautiful. Yeah, even for just a simple tutorial piece. I mean, like I say, my tutorial pieces aren't what I consider top quality, to be perfectly honest. They're more about showing you the techniques. But even with that in mind, I really do like that. That's beautiful. Yeah, so there you are. That is the log bunkers, okay? The earth log bunkers done for you. Tell you what, I'll get you some decent photos, and then what we'll do is we'll go through the key points again, yeah? So that's it, guys. It genuinely is as easy as that. The key elements to remember is when you're working out your space, work out your internal space that you want for your troops. Then add at least 5, 6, maybe 7 mil around it, because you're going to need to add logs in. Now if you don't do this, there's a risk that you cut your space, you add your logs, and then you've reduced your space and you can't get your bases in. Okay, so planning and preparation prevents poor performance on this one, guys. The next thing to remember is with the actual type of logs, it doesn't matter whether you use twigs, whether you use dowel, or what you use. If you're using something natural, remember it needs to be disinfected. So, bit of bleach water, watered down bleach, yeah, give it a soak, and then throw it into the oven after a Sunday roast. And that's all you really need to do. Okay, when it comes to actually building the structure, as you saw, I did the same sort of similar cutout techniques of breaking it into sections, then gluing it back together again. It's a lot easier than trying to cut out the middle from a solid piece. Trust me on that. Yeah, go with the slices and put it back together. Yeah, moving on from there, we could have put a bit of grit texturing on, but you guys know how to do that and it's not really needed for this tutorial. With regards to actually fixing the rocks in place, sorry, not the rocks, the logs, yeah. Obviously I use it double-sided sticky tape, which is a win-win. Yeah, you can use cards if you really insist on gluing them straight to the actual model on the inside on a vertical surface. I'd recommend hot glue, guys. I really would. Yeah, or at a push, gel super glue, but not liquid super glue. PVA, you're just going to have a bad time. Yeah, trust me, a bad time. Now, with regards to the actual foliage, I went quite simple on this just to show you, you know, just so it wasn't plain. But the key point is, remember, when you add foliage, the first places that you add your foliage are the places you need to hide. Second places, any large gaps, you know what I mean? Try and keep it irregular. In this case, I'm wobbling a bit here, I've draped it over to give it a bit of a camouflage effect, and it works really well. And then finally, what can I say about finally? Finally, hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. I think that's the best way of summing it up. Oh yeah, the sprinkling. Remember, if you do have patches on your dirt and big patches where your flock has missed, remember, when you spray your watered down PVA to seal it, you can go in and just put a little sprinkles, just like I did. Fixes it perfectly. So that wraps up this bunker video, and that pretty much wraps up all the bunker videos of the Battlefield Basics series. Yes, I'm quite chuffed about that. We may do a sci-fi one in the far distant future for the apocalypse thing, but enough's enough for now, eh? You've got enough bunkers to be building. So obviously, as always, yeah, any questions, get them down in the comments. I'm here to help, guys. That's what I'm here for. Okay, any suggestions? I love hearing suggestions, things you think I should add to it, look at, all that sort of stuff in the comments. Obviously, like it, share it. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And then finally, guys, if you really do like these tutorials and you enjoy what I'm doing and my videos are helping you, please consider supporting the channel. Yeah, you can jump on Patreon, it's up in a corner or in the links in the description, but it's only $1 a month, okay? That's all I ask, and it really does make a difference, and it helps me improve my videos. Fingers crossed this video's actually improved quite a bit. Yeah, because I've been on a photography course, and I'm working on my new computer, so hopefully the sound's better, hopefully the pictures are better, hopefully the video colour balance is better, hopefully the whole thing's better, so let me know in the comments on that. But all of that improvement can't happen without your support. So if you do like these videos, guys, please consider jumping on the Patreon thing. Yeah, and if you're not into the monthly thing, there's PayPal down below. And in the meantime, yeah, I'm going to admire my log bunker. Yeah, and I'll tell you guys, crack on, guys, and I'll see you soon. All the best, yeah? Ta-ra!